I graduated from college in December of 2024. It is now July of 2026, and I am still unemployed. My second to last semester, I got a cybersecurity internship at my university, and I was given the goal of creating a security information and event management solution. We were actually the first cohort, and I always said this internship was more of a cloud internship rather than a cybersecurity internship because we used a lot of AWS services to create the SIM, the tool, rather than use the tool. So we never actually did anything with it. We simply built it out. So yeah, I learned a lot about cloud, and I think it was very, very helpful. The problem was that I didn't really take advantage of creating connections with I guess more experienced peers or management, supervisors, and leads. I really just focused on the work, on the job, but I didn't try to make connections with these people. And that was a mistake that I made that I know for sure the next time I'm in an environment where I'm surrounded by experienced peers, I am for sure going to make an attempt at creating connections because you never know when you might need that reference. So yeah, I did that. I'm only there for one semester. Then I finished school, and after finishing, I end up going to Mexico and El Salvador for a month and a half, just to vacation. Just to get away from school after being there for so long. So yeah, I come back sometime in February, and I decide to try to get into the defense sector or the defense space. The problem is they need your Security Plus for a lot of these positions. So I start studying for my Security Plus, and it takes me about 2 months. I get it. I pass the test, whatever. I do that, and so then I'm like, okay, I got my internship. I got my Security Plus. I got my degree, but for some reason, it still didn't really feel like it was enough because I was trying to get into IT, and so I decided to build an IT home lab. I built an IT ticketing system and integrated it with Active Directory for managing users and devices. And I did a whole bunch of stuff with that. And then after doing that for a bit, I finally feel ready to start applying. So I started applying. And sometime mid August of 2025, about 50 applications in, I get an interview for a help desk position, paying 25 an hour, hybrid, 2 days in the office, 3 days work from home. But the good thing about this position was that it would sponsor my security clearance. And yeah, I do the interview. It goes well, and I get the offer. I get the job. I sign it. I accept it. And basically, at that point, in my mind, I won. Like, this job search is over. I'm done. This is it. I'm chilling from here on out. I just got to focus on getting promotions and maybe job hopping to a higher level position that's adjacent to help desk. So that's what I have in mind. And all I got to do is wait for my security clearance to go through. And once that clearance goes through and gets granted, then I'll get a start date. So that's my thought process at the time. Unfortunately, things don't always go as planned. And that clearance ends up taking almost a year. I think about 10 months because it was actually granted to me 2 weeks ago. So you guys might be thinking, well, what did you do this whole time? Well, I didn't just sit on my ass. I kind of messed up because when I was in college, I did have a part time job, but my apartment lease was ending and I wasn't going to be in school anymore, so I could move out of that city. So I moved back home. And in my mind, I'm thinking, well, I'm not going to try to transfer because I worked a part time job at Target. I'm not going to try to transfer to Target in my hometown because I'll just wait for 3 months. I'll get my clearance and I'll start working this IT job. And also, I didn't want to work at Target in my hometown because I would see everyone. So those were two reasons why I didn't want to transfer. So I didn't transfer. I just decided to raw dog unemployment, thinking I was only going to be unemployed for 3 to 6 months. which unfortunately did not happen. So, yeah, I know I'm going to have a few months of not doing anything, so I decide to do something. I decide to build a mobile app, and yeah, I launch it on iOS. It's a full working back end and front end. Of course, it's vibe coded. Hey, don't hate. I got to do what I got to do. But yeah, I launched this app, and that's what I've been focusing on since I'm not working. But obviously, it's not generating any revenue. It was just more of a side project, little side hustle that I wanted to try because I had the time to do it. But as of 2 months ago, I'm kind of thinking, holy shit, I'm about to be a year unemployed, and I need to do something about that. I need to get a damn job. I know that my clearance is still interim. It's an interim clearance, which is basically a temporary clearance. Some jobs let you start with an interim clearance. So I decided to start applying to defense tech jobs again, entry level IT specifically, in hopes that one of these roles would let me start with my interim clearance. And I'm about 100 applications in and 4 interviews in. Sorry, not 4 interviews, 4 screening calls. Unfortunately, I never get past these screening calls because they all require a final secret clearance, which I don't have, or at least I didn't have at the time. So I'm kind of, burnt out from applying to 100 jobs, maybe more, and basically uh, um, getting edged to thinking, hey, this might be an opportunity where I could get a position because this recruiter hit me up, but I can't because it requires a final clearance. About 2 weeks ago, I get an email saying, hey, your clearance was granted. And I decide, okay, I'm going to hit these recruiters back up. And I do. 2 of these recruiters don't respond, which is fine, whatever. 2 of these do respond. One of them was from a staffing agency, and one of them was from a prime contractor, defense contractor. And I had remembered that when I was applying, both of these job descriptions were exactly the same. So I was kind of thinking, could this be the exact same role? But I didn't really think much of it until what happened. So, the situation. I hit up the recruiter from the staffing agency, and he calls me. He says, hey, I'm going to put you back on the list. There's positions that are going to open up mid-August. I'll keep you updated. All right, cool, whatever. And then the recruiter from the prime contractor, she ends up scheduling an interview with me, and I do the interview. I think it goes pretty okay. I think it went well. Yeah, I do the interview, and then the interview ends, and I kid you not, within 2 minutes of me leaving the Teams meeting, the recruiter from the staffing agency calls me saying, hey, did you get hired by them? I said, no, I didn't get hired by them. Why would I get hired by them? How do you know? And then I ask him, is this for the exact same role with them? And he says, yes, it is. Are you still interested? And I said, damn, I did not know, but yeah, I'm still interested with you. And he says, okay, cool, whatever. So yeah. And then about 2 hours later, he emails me saying, hey, just stick with them. So the staffing agency recruiter just told me, basically just rejected me. And I'm thinking, all right, cool, whatever. I'll just stick with the prime contractor, assuming I get an offer, of course. This last week, I get a rejection email from the prime contractor. So now I'm like, shit, what do I do? This guy, the recruiter from the staffing agency, told me to stick with the contractor, but the contractor rejected me. So, fuck. Should I hit the recruiter from the staffing agency back up, or would that still lead to a rejection? Because if the prime contractor rejected me, why would they accept me through the staffing agency? So, yeah, that's where I'm at right now. All good though, because I got my clearance, and I know that if I start applying to jobs again, whatever interviews I get, if I get a job soon, I know it would be because I passed the interview, because it was on me, not the screening calls like do you have a clearance finalized, or do you have your final clearance? I know I'm going to pass that. I know I'll pass those screening calls, no problem, because I have my clearance, and I've been passing the screening calls, other than I've been getting turned down because the clearance always came back interim. But now once they run a security check, it's going to come back fully granted. And if I get rejected from here on out, I will know that it is because I don't know how to interview. because I'm getting interviews, I'm getting recruiters, I'm getting calls. I know my resume is not the problem, and I know that from here on out, the screening won't be the problem either. If there's a problem, if I can't get a job from here on out, I know for a fact it's because I don't know how to interview. Maybe it's that. So yeah, guys, this is me as of right now, as of what's today? As of July 9th, 2026, still unemployed. About a month and a half from now, I would be 1 year unemployed. Sorry, I lied. I actually quit Target this week last year. So, as of this week, I am officially 1 year unemployed. Holy shit. Yeah, fuck. So yeah, guys, this is my first YouTube video. I am trying to get into tech, trying to get into entry level IT. Hopefully, from there, in the future, get into cloud or DevOps. You know, one of those fancy eye candy roles. That would be pretty cool. Moral of the story, guys: don't accept the first opportunity you get because you don't know what's going to happen. Accept the job, keep applying, and maybe something better might come up. Shit, I mean, fuck. Keep applying until damn near you get your first paycheck. Then maybe yeah, once you get your first paycheck, then maybe it's a sign, okay, you can stop applying. At that point, you know you got it. But yeah, guys, hopefully the quality is decent. This is my first YouTube video. And if you're still here right now, you're a fucking beast because I know this video is not going to be good. But whatever. Yeah, guys, thanks for listening to my bullshit and learn from my mistakes. Any advice on my situation, please feel free to comment, and I'll catch you guys on next time. Peace.